Hello, everyone. So, with us today, we have Zachary's Vidal's auntie, Cindy, returning, and and canine handler, who's helped with the searches that they've been doing since she was last on. We're going to talk a bit about, obviously, Zachary and his case, and then we're going to swiftly move on to what they've been doing since Cindy was on. So, do you want to introduce yourselves, Cindy, first?
Yes. Hi, my name is Cindy Vidal King. I'm the aunt of Zachary Vidal.
Oh, someone says YouTube's glitching. Oh, okay, so that's YouTube, not us. And do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Jules. I'm the canine handler. I handle a couple different canines that are dual purpose, so anything from narcotics, patrol, explosives, cadaver, electronics. Um, I've been in the Army for 17 years now as of December 10th, and I work on the federal law enforcement side also.
Okay, so the main reason we're here, guys, is because Zachary Vidal is missing, and I'm just going to get up his flyer to read to you. So Zachary Vidal is from Pennsylvania. He's a missing person, and he was 28 years old when he went missing from Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Missing since October 22nd, 2022. He's a white male, 155 pounds, 6 foot, brown hair, blue eyes. Last seen wearing blue jeans, red shirt, tan jacket, and Oakley's baseball cap, style cap. Any information, contact Pottsville Police Department at 570-622-1234. That's 570-622-1234. Okay. So, Cindy, since you last come up, you've been quite active. Do you want to talk a bit about what it is you have been up to uh, regards the case, like regards finding Zachary?
Um, yes. I like to have searches as often as I can. Um, uh, you have to excuse me. It's very hard.
You're okay. Take a moment if you need to take a moment.
Um, a lot of things have been said about Zachary's disappearance. And like I've said before, over 3 years searching for my loved one. Christmas is coming. And something
Okay.
is desperately wrong here with this case. I reached out to Zachary. No response. Zachary is the type of young man that wouldn't do this to his family. I know in my damn heart that someone out there knows where this boy is. They don't give a shit. Jules came on board. She's a God sent from heaven. A beautiful soul. trying to help bring a boy home that she's never met. She's taken on this case like this is her own loved one. And I love her for it. I've begged, reached out to numerous people, and the help really never came. And I thank Jules for everything that she's doing for Zachary. I just wish that someone would tell us where he is, give us a location, something, to end this nightmare. I make
Yeah.
videos.
So,
I just don't know what else to do anymore.
so since Cindy was last on, um, I've been I was just saying this to Cindy before the live. I've been trying to get a hold of her to do like this again, where we could have like she gets the chance to put some awareness out, and those that follow the channel and follow the case have a chance to hear from her again. And like I said, they have literally been doing. It's been once the one search has ended, I thought give them a few days, and within those few days, they've got another search up and they're preparing for another search. So it has been literally non-stop 4 years, hasn't it?
Yes. I want to bring him home. And I won't stop until he is home. And whoever's listening to this and knows where he is, we're coming for him.
So, Jules, how was it you come across this? Was it just something you saw on Facebook and was like, this is something I can help with?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I want to tell Cindy that Ara and I love you, and your family. I'm really appreciative of all your kind words. You've been a sweetheart. Your husband's been a sweetheart, and we've got a great search. Patrick, from our search group, we've got some great people. So I just wanted to, I don't want to interrupt her when she was talking, or you, Frank, but I just want to address that to start. So I met Cindy because there was another young man who had wandered off in Pottsville by the name of Jake Potter. He'd wandered off. I saw the post on social media, and one of my canines, Gator, is trained for tracking. And I reached out to the sister. I said, hey, because Pottsville police, they don't have an active canine team right now. They have to rely on Pennsylvania State Police to dispatch. So, and there has to be a lot of circumstances around that. So I reached out, and because I can operate independently, I don't have to be activated by a search and rescue group because I'm not in search and rescue. I just do searches. I reached out to Shayna, and I went out there, and Gator was able to using Jake's shoe, Gator was able to track his location to this house, which was a very sketch house. We called the Pottsville police out there, and long story short, what happened is from what I was told, Jake did go through that house out the front door. So he went in the back door, went out the front door, went to a house across the street. So my dog wasn't wrong. Gator wasn't wrong. He, in fact, did track through that house. And then she gave me Cindy's contact number. And I think Cindy and I talked on the phone for probably close to 2 hours later on that day when she told me Zachary's story. And some of the things these people have said about Zachary, joking about him being buried under leaves and horrible things like that. So that's how I met Cindy, essentially.
Yeah, there are some disgusting people out there. I mean, I've got multiple channels. They take the mick out of me because of the way I do things. You're never going to grow and things like. But it's not what it's about. It's about giving people like Cindy a place where she can come tell a story, and like the chat's not going to be sitting there, coming up with every crazy conspiracy that could have gone on. She doesn't need that. She needs a place where she can come, tell her story, tell what she's done, like how we're going to do tonight, like updates and that. And but people just want to. I mean, that's how I come across Jules. I know she was at the last live in the chat, but people just wanting to put her down for what she's doing. And all I've got to say to that is she's actively, whether or not what you're saying is true, she's actively helping a family. You're just going around comment sections spreading disinformation. So I understand completely. I mean, not from the same sentiments, but I know what it's like.
Yeah, people in this community can be very weird. And like the one day in one of Cindy's posts on her search group, somebody, I think you saw Frank, came in saying a bunch of random stuff that was not even Apple. I'm like, why are you joining a search group for Zachary to talk about a searcher? It's weird. We're there to help people. I mean, Cindy will tell you, I really don't like any type of notoriety. I don't even like compliments. I don't like anything. All I want to do is just bring my dog and just keep looking because we need answers. I mean, I put myself in Cindy's shoes. How would I feel if like my goddaughter went missing or my niece or my nephew? You know, how would I feel? And I think when people put themselves in someone else's shoes, then maybe, just maybe, you can try to understand, just try to understand how much it hurts. You'll never fully understand, but at least try. But people, like I said, are just interesting in this community, and I don't get it. I don't get how people can do that.
Yeah, I understand that completely. So from when I last spoke to you, Cindy, you was going off to do a search, I believe. Let me just check when you was last on because it's been a bit now. But you were off to do a search and things like that. Is there anything that you'd like to talk about from that search, like your experience from it, the fact that you might not have found something, but that area is now ruled out? Do you know what I mean? For the time being.
When we go out on our searches, we really check the area. And if there's an area that we had already searched, we'll go back and do it again. We find shoes, clothing. We've encountered bones, animal bones. It's not easy. You have to really put your mind on what you're doing. Searching for your own family member that isn't probably deceased. Just don't know what you're going to find out there. But we continue to search. Like Jules said, we have a good team. We work hard. We work together. And we're fighting to bring Zachary home. Maybe Jules would want to tell you about it.
Yeah, the one search I think that you talked to Frank about before we went to do it was when we had that large search group. Actually, that search was kind of weird for a couple of reasons. So, the property we were searching, the owner of the property, allegedly it was his like hunting grounds. He actually came out with a weapon and was trying to get us off his property. So that was kind of weird. So we never fully cleared that entire property. Although, and I know the Coal Canary region did an article about this. There was a lot of deer bones that we found and other animal bones we found, and how my cadaver canine is trained is when she goes to certify, they do test her with animal bones. So what they'll do is they'll distract her with animal bones, and they'll bury the actual cadaver she has to find. they'll also put like pig bones in a spot, deer bones, a ball, anything that could food, anything that could cause a distraction to her. So she's trained like, and Cindy will tell you, there's been times when we've showed her bones and she's just like kind of sniffed and be like, nope, that's definitely an animal bone, because we don't know what. I'm no bone expert. I don't know what when it comes to animals. But there was a pile in the front of this one property, and I can talk about this because the news article was about it. She did sit for something, and when the coroner did come out, the coroner said they were large mammal bones. She didn't specify deer. She said large mammal bones, and to me, that was just kind of an interesting description. So there it is with cadaver canines, it's all in the training of the dog and whatnot. And some people say, well, she didn't find a human, and I don't fault her for what she did, because there's been so many times when we found deer bones, something she's just been like, nope, not interested. I mean, there was also a whole bunch of like burnt clothes in this area and a couple other things. But I mean, we're narrowing down as many search areas as we possibly can. I'll ask Cindy, if someone recommends a search area to us, I'll ask Cindy. I'll say, how do you feel about this particular area? We've talked to Captain Walsh from the Pottsville Police about areas he searched. So it's kind of just like we go off recommendations, or Cindy tells me she's got a really strong feeling about a place. We'll go check that out too. But like she said, it gets hard with the winter, and it's not so much endurance for me and my dog. Ara will go out in the snow. Ara will go out in a volcanic eruption if she had the choice to do it. But it's more so like getting volunteers to come out and help is the biggest thing, because covering bigger areas.
Right.
So this one's for you, Jules, because they're your dogs and you know them. Somebody said, CJK said, if they take the dogs back to the area and give them something to scent off of, could they still pick up Zachary's scent? Or is it that your dogs are just looking for, your dogs are specifically looking for remains?
So that's a good question, actually. So there's 3 different types of dogs used in searches. There's tracking dogs, which are the ones that you give them an article of clothing, and then they go off the article of clothing to find someone. Kind of like in Lacey Peterson's case, they use their sunglasses for the dog to track where she was at. So that's a tracking dog. A trailing dog is what you use for, let's say, a convict escapes prison, like Danilo Cavalcante escaped in Pennsylvania. They use a trailing canine because you got to remember, inmate escaping probably doesn't have something to get a scent off of. So the trailing canine is going off of the ground disturbance. And then you have cadaver dogs. Cadaver dogs are specifically looking for human remains. 3 years it's too long for a scent dog. I would say it's not like the game Concentration, where you have a tile and you match up to another tile. It doesn't work that way with scent with dogs. Unless someone's like actively moving and hiding on the run, a scent dog like that's not going to be accurate. But a cadaver canine, there's cadaver canines that are looking for Civil War remains right now. Cadaver dogs can find people buried in concrete. They can find people in water. They can find, like, it's amazing how cadaver dogs work. But yeah, if you look up Lacey Peterson, it's actually in her case file. It was used in the trial. I think it was a Labrador that was the search dog that was with the sunglasses. So, but article searches can be finicky because, real quick, let's say hypothetically, right after Zachary went missing, I went to Cindy. I said, do you have an article of clothing for me? Let's say it was like the day after or 2 days after. And I said to Cindy, do you have an article of clothing for me that you use? Articles of clothing can be tricky because if they remember, the number of people that touch it can taint the scent, as we say. So let's say like there's a shirt. Whoever washed his shirt in the past, their scent might be on it. Cindy's scent could be on it. Zachary's scent's going to be on it because he wore the shirt. But like let's say he wore it to a party recently and someone like gave him a pat on the back, like, good job, buddy. Their scent's going to be on the shirt. That's why if I'm using an article, I like using a shoe insole, because how many people are going to touch the insole of someone else's shoe? Probably not that many people.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers the question, but yeah, it's just cadaver canines are specifically human remains for that case. So she's looking for a deceased individual. Cadaver canines detect the cadaverine and putrescine, which is the decomposition odor. And I hate using these scientific terms, but that's just kind of how the science is behind it. Cadaver dogs are only for deceased individuals.
And she said, yes, thank you. So,
You're
yeah.
welcome.
One thing that I like to ask, because we get a different type of response, family to family and group to group, and that is, what's it been like working with the police? Like, have they been completely cooperative? And that this can go to both of you if you want. Like, have they been completely cooperative with yous? You know, anything that you's like put to them, they've supported it, or have they been completely shut off? We don't want to, like, you do what you do, we'll do what we do.
I've had no problem with the Pottsville Police Department. I'll say this time and time again that Captain Wells has been phenomenal. He is a very wonderful man. His officers have been great with me. The St. Clair Police Department has been great. So I feel very, very good about how I personally have been treated.
So you feel like, as far as you're concerned, you're getting all the support that you need from them.
110%.
The main reason, yeah, because the main reason I asked that is because, like, some families will tell me, like, they've been completely left in the dark. They're not even getting, if they phone for an update, they're not even getting a call back. And I mean, I've got one mom that I talk to, and 1 minute she's like you, she loves them, and then the next minute she wants to murder them. Do you know?
No.
But you know, I can understand where she's coming from. I guess it's a case of, you know, if you're not getting the answers that you want, sometimes it feels like you're being pushed into the dark. Do you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I could call them and they'll call me right back. If it's not that day, it's the next day. So I don't have a problem with the police. They've been working with me for over 3 years now, and they've been great.
Oh, the decoupage box.
Yeah, I concur with that. Captain Welsh was very, very nice. We kind of did a private search with him not that long ago. He was very nice. You can definitely tell when he's told me in private conversations, he just really wants to find Zachary. He said to me, Jules, I don't know how someone just disappears. He's like, people don't just disappear. But he's been very, very nice. The first time searching with Cindy, actually, in her group, somebody in a search area, I was talking to this person and they said something that just made me kind of side eye. So Cindy right away called the Pottsville police, and they sent 2 officers out, and they came out right away to talk to us and talk to this person, like almost right away. They did have to go to another call, but then both of them came back, actually. So it was a very fast response. They took it very seriously. It's obvious that they want to find Zachary also. So, and I've seen in cases like you said, where there've been times where people are just like, well, why isn't the police talking to us? And me being the law enforcement side, there's reasons for that, for multiple reasons. However, I don't feel that way at all with the Pottsville police. I think they're very responsive to Zachary's case.
They are.
Now, there's a man in the chat that will like what he's just heard because he's an ex-law enforcement officer, and he tends to get upset with me when I ask these questions because it's normally a negative response. I guess trial junkie, it's more down to the area, as in, it seems Pennsylvania has always been quite good. Like Jules was on about the Cavalcante case. I mean, I remember watching that.
Oh yeah, I was there for that. I was actually on ground for that with with Gator. Actually, that was weird. That was a very weird time. I'll say that.
But I think the way they responded to there was a time when he got in a truck and he went, and it was a case of, they could have then gone off and wandered like into different parts of Pennsylvania, but they didn't. They stayed where they was, and they were determined that he was there. So,
yeah. And like I mentioned before, it all depends on a couple of things. Also, social media plays a big part in that, because there's certain cases where like people on social media will just start running with whatever theories, and just like, well, we try to really avoid that because we don't want to cause more chaos or anything. But yeah, Captain Welsh, like Cindy said, has been very, very nice. When we played phone tag for a bit when I first tried to talk to him, but he always responds to me if I do talk to him. So, and Pennsylvania State Police get a lot of, crap for stuff too, but they're also very responsive. It's just, there's a lot of factors that go into it, like you mentioned. But yeah, Captain Welsh in Pottsville has been very, very good. Like for Jake Potter's case, it was the same police department. They came out right away when I called them and said, my dog tracked here. They didn't ask any questions about it. I just said, I'm like, hey, this is who I am. I'm a canine handler. My dog tracked here. They sent 3 cars out to go to that house. So Pottsville Police is very rapid in their response. I just think that there's a lot that goes on. There's a lot of people missing in the area too. So it's just, they try to respond as best as they can.
That's really good to hear. I do have a lot of MMIP cases. They don't get the same response. Again, I'm guessing that's more down to area than anything to do. I feel like Pennsylvania, we have a fireman. I told Cindy about this, man. I was like, reach out to your local fireman, that they'll be able to assist with searches as well, because we know one from Pennsylvania. He's a YouTuber. He covers cases and that, and he's actually been on a few active searches himself. So, but I think he's 8-hour drive from where you guys are, and well, he's a fireman, and I think he's now part of the school board. So, it's just getting in with time. I mean, he doesn't even go live anymore. He's that busy. So, but he did tell me to tell you to reach out to firemen, like the local fire department. He says they might be willing to jump in.
I live a couple doors from a firehouse, and people know what's going on, but they don't come.
Yeah. So, what's your response from the public been like? Because I know you've been putting out events on Facebook for your searches. Have many people turned up, or is it just a handful of people, or no people at all? What's the response been like?
Our one search, we had like 24 people. 22, 24. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 25. It's just depends.
Yeah, so it's basically a case of what day it is, isn't it? As in, if there's an event on that Saturday, maybe, but still
Right.
20 people. That's quite a good number, I'd say.
That was fabulous. 10 people's fabulous.
Yeah. So, is that it now for this year? And are you planning to go out again early January? What do you have any plans, or are you keeping things close to your chest now as you're narrowing down areas?
Our next few searches are going to be private.
Yeah.
Because we're in the winter time, and there's ice and things, and I would kind of like to keep it private.
So I think you told me about that, actually. I think you said with the weather changing and that, it's going to be hard for you to be searching as well as keeping on top of who's searching, has someone gone missing in the search?
Right. Because I would like for Jules and Ara to be able to do their job. And sometimes it's good to have a lot of people, but sometimes you just want to have, when you search in a certain area, you want Jules and Ara to have their time.
Yeah, have their space to do what they've got to do.
Right.
Regarding flyers and that, are you still dropping flyers, or is it a case of you doing that on social media? Because someone here says, has she been dropping off flyers at the local churches, like at the bulletin boards and things like that?
Yes. I'm not stopping.
So you're still using physical flyers?
Yeah.
Last time you come on, I remember we spoke after this as well. I recommended True Crime Web to you. Now I know he's busy for the next at least year, so unless he has got back to you, it wouldn't be that he comes out and sees you. But he does do things like, making sure that missing families, they always have flyers, and he gives them like little things like a woman's purse mirror, and it'll have Zachary's details on. Did you hear back off him at all?
No.
No, because that could be
No.
that could be something that could help. But there are also other agencies that can help with things like that. Because I mean, you've already got Jules, so I don't see really, other than the flyer thing, what Mr. Steve could do for you. Because he's a forensics guy, and there's nothing evidence wise at the moment, is there? So, but I can have a look for you. Like if you remember when we was first talking, I got some advocacy groups up for you. I can look into like places that pay for things like flyers and that, just to try and take the costs off you and things like that. Do you know what I mean? Hello.
I would love to have a billboard for Zachary. And I've reached out to places and I didn't get any responses.
Have you thought about like I don't know, have you got anything like a GoFundMe going?
No.
No. Well, have you thought about that?
No.
Like to get like a billboard, and then whatever's left can go to the rewards or whatever other costs there is. Because I mean, searches aren't free or cheap. Do you know what I mean? Because you're going to need, like, for starters, just the basics. I'm thinking of is waters, hiking boots, things like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, have you thought? Is that
I'll
something
go
that
in
you
my
should?
bare feet
Yeah.
to find my nephew. I'm not begging people for money. I'm begging them for Zachary. I'll go in my bare feet if I have to. This is torture.
Yeah.
I was driving in my car yesterday with my grandchild listening to Christmas music, and hearing her laugh took me back to when these kids were little. Thanking my parents for their Christmas presents. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. If you need to take a moment, take a moment.
I just don't understand why nobody would come forward.
Yeah, I think that's the most frustrating thing in this whole thing is that we just, and all the times I've searched with Cindy and we've encountered people, whether they're individuals living on the streets of Pottsville or whatnot, it's just been a runaround circle of people pointing at other people. And that's what's frustrating. I'll never understand it. I don't understand it at all. But it's just diabolical to a point. And my heart breaks for Cindy because I wish I could just, do some Oliver Queen Green Arrow type of stuff to get these people to tell me where Zachary's at, or at least give me a search area. And I've said this before, I'm like, just give me a search area and I'll take Aura there and we'll do the rest. But it's always a big game of like, people have sent us across town before and in areas that didn't make any sense at all. It's just very odd. And odd's not the right word. Frustrating and heartbreaking is probably more accurate statement for that. I'll never understand it. But people just need all we want is just give me an area and R and I will go do the rest. That's all I'm asking these people.
Yeah, because the issue you have with that is somebody could be telling the truth when they're putting their 2 cents in, but then you got people that throw in conspiracies, and then people that they hear a bit of the truth, and and just people trying to get the name into the case. That's one thing we see quite a lot is people just want to get their name. Like, for instance, the Delphi case is solved. The man's in prison now for 130 years. And people are popping up now as channels to talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, let the girls rest in peace. But yeah, social media, it's one of those things. It's brilliant for sharing flyers and getting the awareness out there. But then you got online detectives, as they like to see themselves, where they're going to solve the case through watching other people's videos.
Yeah. I'll like I said, I don't understand. Cindy knows that I have a theory. Cindy will tell you I've been harping on the same people for a while now. I just really wish, like I said, I could just give me an area. I'll take my dog there and we'll do the rest. So it's just some people make horrible jokes about Zachary. It just really boils my blood. And it's just I can't understand that evil. I don't think like that. How does somebody think like that? How does somebody do that to a family member? Yeah, it's really frustrating.
So I just looked up when she last come on. It was the end of October. Since then, how many searches roughly has gone on? Cindy's gone. Maybe she'll be back. I don't know. How many searches roughly have been done since then? Because there's been quite a lot, hasn't there?
Oh, Cindy's gone. You said, yeah, she may have dropped off by accident. I think I would say 3 for sure that I know of. There may have been another smaller one, but I'm not sure. But I know there's been at least 3.
We'll give her a few minutes, see if she comes back. If she doesn't come back,
she probably will. She may have just dropped off by accident because cell phone reception in the area is kind of
yeah, she might just need to take a minute as well.
Yeah.
Oh, she did say, yeah, she said that the electric's gone in her area or something. There are too many cases that need attention. We have no reason to keep redoing cases to have an outcome that has been done repeatedly. I think she's on about like how channels pop up and they just talk about one case. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said to Cindy from the first search that she did after that you guys did, after she come on, because I think she was a bit disheartened that he wasn't found and that, and I said to her, I said, at the end of the day, this area is now ruled out for at least the time being. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's one way to look at it for sure. Because then Ara and I have recovered now. We've been part of recovering 16 people now. My cadaver dog and I, and it's just I've been there when the family's been there when we found something. I've been there when I've been with a search group and the family member wasn't there. I've been there when we found nothing at all, obviously. So it's really hard. It's not a field for everyone to be part of. It's very hard when you're searching with family members because how do you tell them you may have found something, But that's a good point. We narrowed out a search area for sure. So now it gets smaller and smaller, the search picture that we're looking in. But yeah, that last big search, we did have a bunch of people, but like I said, we kind of got chased off the property by the property owner because he kind of came walking out with his shotgun over his shoulder. Was mad we were potentially ruining his hunting grounds, which I won't get into that. That was weird. He thought it's like he was like Bruce Willis in a Die Hard movie, basically, is how he was acting. But it does, like I said, I just really think that it's only a matter of somebody saying something, and I have my suspicions on who I really believe knows exactly what happened to Zachary, but I'm not like Oliver Queen. I can't green arrow my way to get them to tell me stuff, you know what I mean? So it's just I wish, just give me an area and I'll take my dog there. We just want him back, that's all. There's Cindy's back, yay.
Yeah, I had to restart my phone.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We was just talking about
the Bruce Willis property owner that came walking out that day. That was weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Jules.
So to the people listening, if you go to the live section, if you want to learn about Zachary's case as a whole, Cindy did a more detailed one on that back in October, end of October. So if you want to go and look for that, it's a similar thumbnail. If you want to know the ins and outs of the case, this is more just an update for Cindy to give to the public to the audience what she wants them to know. And just to let people know that she's still out there, she's still active, and as you heard her earlier, she's not going to give up until Zachary's found. So that one is more that one was more case orientated, wasn't it? Like it was around the circumstances of when he went missing and that. So someone's asking about. Has anybody been able to get access to Zachary's phone, like text messages or a ping, his last ping?
Okay, I've heard about a cell phone for over 3 years. And I've stated numerous times, Zachary's cell phone was broken at the time. He had no cell phone.
Okay.
If he had a cell phone, this case would have been solved. And I know they're only asking questions. And I wish I had the answers for everything, and I just don't have them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cindy, I think you dropped off when I said this. I told them, I said, you know exactly who I suspect knows something, and I said, I really wish I could just, Oliver Queen green arrow my way into being just tell me where to go. And I said before you dropped, I think it comes down to, we know that somebody knows something. It's just a lot of people spread a lot of rumors or blame the other person. And the one search, they sent us across town to go searching in an area that made no sense.
Right.
It just,
right.
Cindy knows that I have a number one. I have a number one. So yeah, it's, yeah, that person's on my watch list.
Mm-hmm.
Is that from things this person said, or how's that? without divulging too much, sorry, is that through what this person said or through actions that person's done?
Well, the individual, either you were with Zachary if something happened to him, or you weren't with him at the time if something happened to him. Either way, I feel the individual knows something. But why they don't come forward, it just doesn't make sense. Just, I don't care, just call it in anonymously and say, this is where this individual is, whether he's alive or he's deceased. We are his family. We want him back. Just place the call. Call it in. I'm not even, I don't know. I just don't understand why it's not happening. So
this person's also said some horrible things before, and they blocked me on social media for absolutely no reason, which didn't make any sense either. So that's weird to me. Maybe the gentleman in the audience who's a former law enforcement officer can also vouch for that. It's just weird that it was after we announced like R and I were the cadaver team that was coming out and doing these searches. That's when I got blocked by this person, and I never talked to them before. I just knew who they were. To me, that was weird. So they know who they are.
When the grid search was announced, the individual did this. And what puzzles me is the individuals that my nephew was possibly hanging around with at the time, have not one of them have reached out to hand out a flyer, ask us if we've heard anything, offered 5 minutes of their time to even look for them. So to me, that's some big red flags. I just that's how I feel. And it's very, very disturbing.
It's funny, isn't it? Like when covering these cases, like you hear family members say, like, this is his best friend, and then like later on in the case, it's I haven't heard of them since I last spoke to you, or things like that. It's funny how certain people they give themselves away. Like, I know law enforcement can't do nothing with that, but it sort of sends out the answers, doesn't it?
It raises red flags. Like I said, I've been a military police officer and I've done commander investigations. I was active duty for a period of time. I've done these investigations, and and I'm a federal law enforcement officer now. Every single red flag comes up to me when they do these little cues that they don't think I notice. But like Cindy said, this was right when the grid search was announced. I was blocked, and I never talked to this person, never anything. Couldn't, and it was just odd. I'm just like, why are you? It was just weird. An innocent person doesn't just block like somebody like that for just no reason.
Birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah. And like Cindy said, they've never been out to any searches. These close friends of his that I know of, they've never come out to searches. I've never seen them post in the group like, oh, how is the searches going or what? Never. It's just very odd. If you supposedly cared about Zachary so much, why are you not even asking about him? I mean, some people out of state, they can't come do the searches, but like in Cindy's group, I'll see people all the time saying like, if I was in Pennsylvania, I would come search. At least they're offering messages of support. These people say nothing at all. Just like, if you care about Zachary so much, at least offer messages of support or a prayer or something, share his flyer.
Nothing. Yeah. Absolutely nothing. Nothing but smart comments. Ignorant comments.
Well, you think they'd be rallying around the family, and from what I've seen through posts and that on Facebook, I think it was actually Mom that posted about the leaves as well. I know I've seen you post it, Cindy, but she posted something about the Leaves comment recently, and she was calling that person directly out without the name. She didn't use the name, but she was calling that person directly out. And you think people like that, you know, they'd be rallying around the family, especially locals and things like that. And it seems that, like, especially with these sort of cases, locals either want to try and become famous from the case by just talking about that case, and they know the ins. We know the family. We're best friends with the family, and then when it comes down to the crunch, the family want nothing to do with them. They want them to stop using their names, especially like there's this one creator that we know, he's now gone because his own life choices. He's still with us, like, on Earth, but he's no longer on social media. And he went on the news and everything, claiming to be like close family members with the, like, not close family members, sorry, close friends with the family members and things like that. And then you hear the family calling him out, saying, "We want nothing to do with you." And then he's took it on his own stride to, we're now the troll farm, we're trolls for what we do and things like that. He's just ridiculous. But so what's the plans for, like, from now? I think we was touching on it when you jumped off. From, like, because obviously it's Christmas time now. Like, you've got some private searches that I don't want you to discuss because, well, like you said, you want to keep them private for whatever reason, and like you said, mainly so the dog and Jules can do what she's got to do. What's your plan for the new year? Like, are you going to go just straight back in New Year, or
Always got to keep pushing forward. There's a boy that needs to come home. The mother is waiting on him to come home. Just keep pushing forward. Right now, I'm not going to announce a date. Jules and I will discuss that. But we're not done.
Yeah, and like Cindy said, for Ara and I, so much it's not so much the weather that's a concern. Because Ara will go, like I said, Ara, if a volcano could be erupting, and Ara would be like, "Let's go search." So that's how she is. It's more so like there's been times in search groups where and Cindy, actually, the last search was doing this because, like, I was trying to work Ara, and Ara was getting, I mean, she'll put her nose to the ground and she'll just go working, but some people like to be very distracting on searches. And you know, a lot of people don't understand, like, this is a professional search, regardless of whether or not we have, like, you know, yellow tape everywhere and we're all like in orange vests. It's still like I don't want her to miss anything. I don't want to miss anything myself, which is why, and so that's one of the other reasons why they're private, because some of these other areas we're talking about searching that have been recommended to us, we just don't want to go in with a large group of people because we don't want to, because what we dealt with the last property owner, the Bruce Willis looking dude, for starters, that was one reason. But just, you know, these are some more condensed areas that our friend Jen has recommended to us that we go search. But yeah, it's just I don't want her distracted by any means. And it's always interesting. One area we search, Cindy will tell you, I know for a fact these individuals are scared of Ara when we take her to this one search area, because they either hide and talk to us through tents or something when we're trying, or it's just but yeah, so Ara's very I'm sure you're my Facebook friend, so you probably see I have a bunch of dogs. Some people get like confused about which dog is which, but Ara's very much she's an intimidating looking dog when she's just looking at you. But she's really good at what she does. She's really dedicated, and Cindy will tell you she actually gets frustrated when she can't find something. She gets very frustrated when she can't find something. And that's just how she is that's just the nature of the breed. So I love working dogs. I never want to stop doing that. But yeah, snow isn't a factor. It's just what Cindy and I are concerned about is some people just get very distracting or try to make the searches about them, and that's not what it's about. That was very frustrating on a previous search that we had to deal with. So that's
Right.
more so the real reason. So
We like to keep it quiet and stay very, very, very focused. Aura, um, she knows she's leading. She knows it's her day. She knows what she's there for, and she wants to shine. And you can't, you have to, you have to be quiet. And she just wants to work. She knows what she's there for, and she's aiming to bring Zachary home.
Yeah.
And she knows when you're upset too, because that dog will come right over to me and she'll sense it, and she'll come right over to me and say, "I'm here, Cindy." It's just a very, very, very beautiful, beautiful, smart, loving animal that wants to do her job.
So in the video description, and they've been dropped in the chat as well, I've got your 2 Facebook groups. Is there anything that you think that I should add into the video description? Like, Jules, have you got anything that you like? I don't know, a Facebook thing or anything like that families can contact you on, or people can follow you on. I can add that too. Just send me a message with the links, and I can add that to it. Same with you, Cindy. If there's anything you think you want in there, whether it's a specific news article, anything like that. Guys, keep sharing his flyer. If you guys are on Facebook and you see a post, share it. It takes a couple of seconds, and it can do a world of difference, especially for those that are in Pennsylvania. Is there anything you guys want to say before we end the live?
I'll just say this because I know people are listening. So to the person that I know for a fact that the people who potentially know what happened to Zachary are listening to this, I'm just going to say this one final time. R and I are the justice that you can't run from. So one way or the other, we're going to find Zachary and we're going to see justice done, because I'm not giving up. You've let the mother grizzly onto the scene, and I'm going to keep coming back until I find him or find some answers. So I'm just going to say that. And I'm going to keep praying for Cindy and her family. They're wonderful people. And Frank, thank you for having Cindy and I up here and talking about Zachary, because, it's really appreciated. I appreciate you giving Cindy, a platform to tell her story, because Cindy really is a wonderful person. Her husband's an amazing person. They're so loving and kind, and she's been Zachary's voice this entire time, and I don't think she gets enough credit for that. So everyone in the chat who's supporting Cindy, just please keep supporting her, because she's really a wonderful person. I've never seen a family member this dedicated to finding just answers in general. So I'll just say that about Cindy. But yeah, justice is coming. For those that know what happened to Zachary, this mother grizzly's not giving up. So
Thank you, Jules.
Is there anything you want to say, Cindy, before you go?
Yes, thank you so much for having me and Jules tonight. You become a wonderful friend, and I appreciate you. And Jules, you know how much I love you, girl.
we love you. We love you too, Cindy.
And I know you're going to do this.
Well, you're
Dear
always
Zachary,
welcome.
I want to talk to my nephew. Zachary,
You're always. Oh, sorry, go on.
I love you, honey. And that Lulu's not giving up on you, baby. Jules and I are coming. And Aura, I know how much you would love Aura. We're coming for you, baby. And we'll be there. Thank you.
So, as I was saying, you're more than welcome to come on anytime again in the future when you feel you need to put an update out, or even if it's just to do like tonight, where we've talked a bit about what's gone on since you last come on. Anything like that, you're more than welcome to come on. And
thank you.
Jules, thank you for everything you do for Cindy and with Cindy. And everyone in the chat, share this video. I don't get paid per view, so it's not about that. It's about spreading the awareness for Zachary, and it saves Auntie Cindy having to come on week in, week out. If we just get, even if everybody just shares it once to their own Facebooks and it gets a few more views, that way it saves her from having to keep coming back on and things like that. And hopefully it might hit someone who knows something. Right. I'm going to let you guys go. And everyone who's in the chat, thank you for coming. Those watching on replay, again, if you want to know more about the case, I did a short live on it. I also did, we also did at the end of October an interview where me and Cindy went over the case, around the circumstances of him going missing and all the things that you need to know on that. If you look in the live section, it's down there. In fact, I'll put it in the video description. At the end of this live. So, thank you, ladies, for coming on and for the updates.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching.